Hello.
Korkor?
How are you?
Very well, Korkor. Missing Ghana.
Missing you too.
Yes, I'm in Barcelona on the post-production of this play. I still very much regret how abruptly we had to leave for this premiere and didn't have enough chance to talk to you, but we will make it up, and I will certainly intend to return to Ghana, hopefully at the beginning of next year.
Okay, no problem. You'll be welcome. Then we can do more.
Thank you. I've done now about 10 Ghanaian shirts, and 5 more I will make in Colombia. So I don't have to worry about being formal and yet not having to wear a suit, which is a great thing.
Yeah.
I just left message to Damien and to Ladi. And by the way, I should tell them, and I'm telling you, we are recording it, so that we don't have to take minutes. Yeah.
It appeared on the screen. Let me call Ladi, okay?
Yes, please. He had a funeral at 2 o'clock, but he said at 4 o'clock he was free. So
yeah, that's what he told me too.
And he sent me a note about 10 minutes ago. So
okay. Ladi, are you home? Are you home? Yeah. Okay, we are ready for you, eh?
Oh, it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, well, it is 4 o'clock. 2 minutes.
2 minutes of the time.
Okay, well, Victor is here, and I'm here.
I'm getting myself ready.
All right, then. Okay, bye.
So he's telling us that we are panicking 1 minute too early, yes?
That's right.
Okay, I'll call Damien.
Okay.
I had a very good teleconference with him because really I wanted to get to know him a bit. So,
yeah. He's a very interesting man.
Yeah.
Very intelligent.
That is
this your house where you are sitting?
Sorry? No,
where are you
I'm actually sitting in a studio of the director whom you met very briefly, and there are his paintings all over the place. It's a huge 600 square meter studio for making films. So that's on the wall. But Damien is not replying. I hope he got it. Oh dear.
Let me see if I can get him.
Okay.
Damien.
He was last seen 20 minutes ago.
Well, so he's around. Not answering. Surely around somewhere.
Well, as I said, he was online 20 minutes ago. Vladi says I'm here just a minute.
So who is SSCC host? Is that you, Victor?
Just a moment. Sorry, what did you ask me?
Who is SSCC host? Is that you?
Well, physically, it's not me. It is my webmaster in Colombia. But
Okay.
so he instituted, and I'm just doing. Hello, Ladi.
Good. When you say 4 o'clock, I mean 4 o'clock. I don't mean 5 minutes to 4.
Sorry, you always enter early. Don't scold us.
Sorry?
You usually enter about 5 or 10 minutes before.
I'm here.
But listen, we are missing Damien. And Damien is
Oh.
not replying to my, Damien, he is not replying to my or Korkor's WhatsApp notes, and he was online 20 minutes ago. So it's a bit of a mystery.
Oh, he'll be here. He'll be here.
Ah, Korkor and Damien group chat. Ah, you're saying hi, Damien. Well, by the way, Ladi,
Yep.
taking advantage of the fact that we are still waiting, we are doing some adjustment to the trailer because one or two people gave the criticism that it's not quite clear what you want to achieve. So in addition to having the scenes from the play, we also now including comments by the two actors so that people really know that we are not only filming the play, but also taking it the context of the, so to speak, of the people who still need to do deal with the vestiges of slavery in contemporary time. So
Okay.
I think it's going to be much better. I'll send it to you later.
Great.
And obviously, once it is done, it will be sent to everybody, and now the true post-production will start. And by the way, Korkor, thank you, obviously, for sending the Buenos Aires declaration. Of course, I'm well aware that there were two major meetings of South-South because the concept is well known. In Colombia, South-South usually means only contacts within the South American continent. Ah, Damien.
No, that's Ladi again. Is that Ladi?
No. Damien.
Recording in progress.
Or is it Ladi twice?
Excuse me, I was just transferred to my computer.
You have two Ladis.
I was transferring to my computer.
Yeah. You switched off.
But one has an echo.
I removed it.
No. You're still on. I wonder whether I should call Damien Congolese phone from my WhatsApp. We're getting Ladi still. Okay, now you're gone. Okay, that's okay. I wonder whether I can call Damien on his directly phone. I just have to pay for the call, but that's no problem. So I'll put Damien.
Those are beautiful photos, paintings behind you.
Well, the big arsenal of Bernd Alder's paintings, there must be about 200 here.
Fantastic.
And, Damien Pwono, okay. Oh, 243, very good. I'm now calling Damien on his cell phone. He's not answering his cell phone. Damien? Bonjour, c'est Victor à l'appareil. On est en train de vous attendre parce que Corcor est déjà en ligne et également Ladi. Ah. Ok. Donc, tu vas essayer. Très bien. Ok, merci. Okay, so he's getting some connection problems, but he will, he said just give him another minute or two.
All right.
Yep.
Isn't it wonderful that you see, Corcor and Ladi, I usually keep $100 on my Skype account. So whenever I travel anywhere and stay, like with, if I were staying with you, Ladi, I wouldn't have to say, let me call Turkmenistan and then I'll pay you 5 minutes to Turkmenistan. You just call yourself directly to the country, and that's wonderful. So I always
Good idea.
$100, and I managed to get Damien on his cell phone.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So he's trying to get us, yeah? Damien. He's having problems.
Yeah, he said he's got connection problem, but he hopes to resolve them. Anyway, now we know.
Okay.
By the way, Ladi, do I do Johanna at the same time or what? What did she agree with you?
Yeah, I've sent it to you, 4 p.m.
5 p.m. Okay. Oh,
Four.
sorry, 5 p.m., which is 7 p.m. here.
For me,
4 p.m.?
for me,
4.
for me, 4 p.m. for me, 7 p.m. for you.
No, 6 p.m. I'm 2 hours ahead of you.
Ah, okay, sorry. It's 4 p.m. for me, yeah.
Today we did, well, even today we did the same, 4 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you had yet another funeral today.
Yeah, it happens almost every weekend. Because of the COVID, they've all stashed away. So they have one by one. Because of the COVID, you couldn't do too many. So they've all been sort of programmed. And virtually every week there is some kind of a funeral or other.
And how are you doing with COVID in Ghana?
I would say reasonably well. I mean, there was a spike, but there's a less of a concern now. It went from 4,000 suddenly to 7,000 in a matter of maybe 2 weeks. But there is less of a concern now. Actually, I think even the world got alarmed and Britain put Ghana on a red alert. But as far as I know, it's a lot better now. It's a lot better now.
Ghana is, as far as UK is concerned, on the amber list.
Yes. I think actually it was on red, and I think they've sort of like climbed it down a bit. But I think they felt that.
Oh, sorry, Damien is calling us on.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, he's doing a video call.
Damien, you cannot connect on the. Yeah, tout le monde est là, mais enfin, on n'est pas là, on est là en Zoom. Je vous ai envoyé le lien. Ça ne marche pas?
Non, je n'ai pas le lien de Zoom. Je n'ai pas le lien de Zoom. Vous l'avez même par email?
Sorry, I can't hear you properly.
Maybe he didn't get your Zoom thing, so you should send it to him again.
Can I send you the link in Zoom again? I'll send you right now.
Yes,
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp.
Damien, I can see you. Ladi. Good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I'm so sorry I'm having a problem with the internet connection.
No problem.
Damien, I've just sent you. I've just sent you.
Okay. Through WhatsApp?
No. You have to do it on your computer. No, I sent it to you on this chat.
Okay. So,
But I can send it to you also on email if you want to.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send you. Give me 1 second. Okay, just send it to you by email.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We just print that.
So we will switch off this. Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah, I'm trying to connect. Yeah.
Okay, I'll switch off this. Well, no, I have a teleconference. You can just say hello to Ladi and to Korkor. We are waiting for Damien.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you? Have you seen the trailer?
No, I
No?
didn't send it until we finish it now.
Okay, no. Ah, okay. Yeah.
I sent to Ladi initial one, and now
Okay.
I told him I will send the new
No,
one.
but Lad, you can show. We have a basic trailer done to finish the subtitle,
No,
and I think
but I sent him 2 days ago. Now we have a new one, so I'm waiting for you to.
we have a new one now. Yeah,
So I'll send it.
Okay, I look forward to that.
perfect.
But Brent, I love paintings behind Victor. Lovely.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
There are another
my
one.
word,
There
yeah.
are another 180 of them.
Yeah, we have
You're
some more.
kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I love colors.
Okay.
You have to
No, if we ever get into a financial crisis,
I can see you now. Okay.
we can get 180 paintings, multiply them by 5,000 euros, and we can buy a building in London.
I think Damien is here.
London.
It will be you will be the owner, and we will be the tenants, occasional tenants.
Victor, Damien is here.
Damien?
Damien.
Oh, good.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
Damien?
Yeah, I can see you now. Finally. Hello.
Damien, I mentioned to Korkor that I asked my webmaster to record it so that we don't need to take minutes. And then I'm obviously going to send it to all of you, but I will tell him to start from 6:15 my time or 10:15 in 11:15 in Colombia, so that we can get a record. And as I already told everybody, Damien, you and I had a chat, and I was very pleased to have had finally an opportunity to get to know you better, because obviously Korkor knows you extremely well. And the thing now is, how can we capitalize on your appointment, which you may have seen is already on our webpage as a news item with your photograph and biography. So I just wanted to basically, if you would all agree, as Ladi is the chairman of our Office for Africa, to basically see what is it that we can most usefully do in order to make sure that African office is vibrant. Ladi may want to brief you a little bit of what are his immediate plans to further expand the board, but I think the most important thing would be to see what is it that we can do that it is of particular interest with you. And because I don't want to forget, in our conversation, it cropped up the question of China. And you may want to tell Ladi I don't know whether Corco knows about it, about this $100 million, I wouldn't call it a grant, but infrastructure which China provided, and tell them more about your institution, which more or less should be operational at the same time as the Pan-African Museum in Ghana. And also the idea that you asked me whether we have anybody from China, and I told you I would be enormously grateful if you could think and look at your address book and see who of your contacts, and I think you particularly mentioned a former Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So anyway, that's by way of introduction from me, but I think Ladi, I would like you to basically lead this meeting.
Sure, thank you very much. Damien, nice to see you.
You too,
When I first, I've known Victor since we were both teenagers. So you can imagine how long ago was that? It was nearly, probably 50 years ago.
More, 55.
and we've kept in touch more or less since then. But you know, he disappears from time to time, and he's living on another continent anytime I look for him. And I tried to reach him, maybe 10 months ago, just to find out how he was. And I had in mind, we've launched here what is called the Pan-African Heritage World Museum, of which I'm the vice chairman and the chairman of the construction committee. And I knew that Victor would be very interested. I will give you later the web address so that you can go there and see for yourself. But when I eventually got to, I sent him a Facebook message, which he got maybe, or he read maybe 6 months thereafter. And
I don't use social media, sorry.
6 months later, then he immediately answered, and we started talking. And I said, look, we've got this museum going. I know that you'd be very interested. And he immediately was very interested. So I introduced him to the chairman, and Victor is now a special consultant to the museum. It's really a question of we in Africa to tell our own. And Victor is here, and although originally Serbian, he identifies very much as an African because he was here. He spent his early years here in Ghana and went to university, or part of his university here. So then, of course, he introduced us to South, and I was highly interested. And subsequently, he asked me if I would be interested in joining, and I'm delighted to be part of it because much of what we do, or at least some of what we do, will go to support the museum. And so that's how this whole thing started. But then we need to get Africa going. To Coco, I talk to almost every day. Coco's mother and my mother, sister comes immediately after my mother. But she and her brother Nat are my two closest cousins. They're about 35, but the three of us are very close. So I mentioned this, and she said to me, you know who you need if you're going to be successful? Is someone that I know. His name is Damien Pwono. In fact, I only got to know yesterday that you went to the University of Pittsburgh, which is also my alma mater. Interesting.
Oh.
Anyway, so she immediately said, "Oh yeah, Damien." So then I went to the internet, tried to look for you, and you were in Aspen, you were in Rockefeller. So we didn't know where you were. And Coco said, look, you're back in the DRC. And I said, no, he's in Aspen. Really happy. And my immediate reaction is that, why is he not president of DRC? Because it's such an impressive CV that you had. And I feel quite humbled. Of course, I knew Coco's husband as well. I feel quite humbled to be in your presence. And I know that you will do a lot to move or help us move Africa forward. Now, in terms of what we're doing in Africa, we're trying to sort of expand the board. There's a young, well, if I say young lady, there's a lady that we know. Her name is Johanna Swanica. She runs a research, a history and research institute in Africa. And she's very happy to join. Her husband is a businessman, a very close friend of mine, very dynamic person. And of course, you've heard of Mr. Rawlings. I'm sure you know President Rawlings. President Rawlings, his daughter is now an MP, very, very proactive and very, if I may use the word, very sensible young lady. Actually, she's my goddaughter, and she was born just before Rawlings. Rawlings's wife is my friend, not Rawlings himself, but Rawlings's wife. So when Janetta was born, I was asked to be the godfather. So I've known them. I lost touch with them when they were in power because I didn't want to get too close to politics at the time. But then, you know, friends, family friends are always family friends. Now, she's going to join. We've spoken to her about it already. And she tells us that she has a couple of like-minded MPs in other parts of Africa. Of course, this is not a political organization, and we recognize that political people will come and go. But of course, someone like her, whether she's in and out of parliament because of her father and because of her own track record so far. And in fact, she did a video, which Victor if Victor has it, she might send it to you. He might send it to you. So she's going to recommend about 3 or 4 parliamentarians from Africa, not the rabid ones, the quote unquote the sensible ones that, you know, whether they are in parliament or not, they will make a difference. Then I also want to talk to her mother, who is my friend. As you know, John Rawlings passed about 6-7 months ago. And I know that she was very well connected with several African wives of heads of state. In fact, she was very good friends with the wife of the former head of president of DRC, actually. So I'm going to ask her also to recommend a couple of those people, like-minded people that will join and make Africa SSCC vibrant. We have the idea of being with friends, a lot of friends who have what we're doing at heart. But in terms of what we do now, we've got to do some fundraising, we've got to do some program of work. I have to say that Coco is my researcher. I just have to mention a word to Coco, and the following day he comes back with me with a tranche of things to read. And before I read them, she's already read them. So she's asking me questions that I can't answer. But she's a very good resource. And I know that she and you have worked so hard, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. We've talked about, or we've done a docufiction, which Victor might talk about later on. And talking about fundraising, as I said, the diplomatic community, the dean is from Colombia. It's kind of very, I mean, the source of happenstances or coincidences that have happened to what we're doing now is so amazing. She happens to be the dean, and of course, when Victor introduced himself to her, they hit it off right away. And Victor stayed here 3 weeks, and according to the ambassador, it was like 3 minutes to her, because they did so many things together in terms of getting the chief of the Ga. The Gas are the people who live in Accra, and you know, normally the tribe that lives in Accra in the capital city, undergo some challenges, and the Ghans have challenges, but we have a chief, a government who was very supportive of the docufiction, and then she is helping. She's accredited to, I think, 16 or 7 West African countries.
18.
Okay, all right. And she, also being the dean of the diplomatic corps, is helping us on the night of the farewell for them. She invited the Norwegian ambassador, the Spanish ambassador, the Mexican ambassador, all of who were very, very supportive of what we're doing, and it's low-hanging fruit when we talk in terms of raising money from them. The Swiss ambassador also. So it's very low-hanging fruit for us to pick. And in terms of low-hanging fruit, I guess you, Damien, by virtue of your friendship with Coco, are one of the low-hanging fruits. So we're picking the low-hanging fruits first, and then we can look further afield. I am excited by this China connection that you have. But right off the bat, what can Africa bring to the? And I have suggested to Victor a number of things. Right, what comes to my head is the sickle cell disease, which is started off in Africa, but now because of migration, it's moved to the world. What can we do? Can we bring table? It's also a kind of fruit that is native to West Africa, but grows all over the world. And it is 1,000 times sweeter than sugar, but it's not sugar. It's a protein. So it's very good for diabetics. And I'll send also literature that you can read. I know a little bit about it because for 10 years I was trying to research it. So those are the things that we're trying to do, and I'm hoping that very much with your board you can. When I mention the word cultural diplomacy, Coco tells me that you don't know anything about cultural diplomacy until you've talked to Damien. So I am here to learn and to follow your footsteps and learn a lot from you. You don't seem to be someone who will overpower all of us.
We go to Damien, just mention 2 things. And one is that whilst Ladi has outlined to you, Damien, who we want to still put on the policy advisory board of SCCC, and we will probably have to stop at that point so that there is not a disbalance between Africa and Asia and Latin America. However, I did point to Ladi that as far as I'm concerned, he can have as many people as he wants to on the African office, and they will all automatically be members of the South-South Cooperation Council. So this is just something I would like you to bear in mind. And secondly, I did, Ladi didn't mention this to you, but when I spoke to Damien, I said to Damien, even if he does not come, I would like you to be on the video in Manila conference, and I would like him to identify a Congolese artist who would be able to also send us the video on music linked with sustainable development goals. I'm having on Sunday meeting with all the artists from Latin America and Caribbean, and then a week after that, we will do it with Africa.
Damien, do you remember the OK Jazz? Are they from DRC?
Who's that?
Okay, Jazz.
Okay, Jazz, yeah.
Okay. Wonderful,
Rockafield,
But
wonderful musicians.
Rockafield and the OK Jazz.
Yeah.
but Franco died long time ago. But
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Jazz still there. Yeah.
Franco was so popular here. Franco was
Yeah.
so popular here. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Okay,
Damien,
so you want to
It's
speak?
me?
we go
Yeah.
to now.
There's a bit of delay, with the sound because of internet connection here. I don't know whether you can hear me clearly or not.
We can hear you.
Ah, okay, that's great. Well, Laddie, thank you again and for the kind words. My relationship with Ghana, besides reading from history and Kuma, all the rest, but was mainly with Professor Kwabena Nketia of Fond Memories.
Who I know very well.
Yes, so kind of a father to me. He actually is the one who discovered me in Kinshasa and encouraged me to go study under him in Pittsburgh. And when I finished and was retiring too from university, you wanted to deal with children. I told him that, no, you're not gonna go back home to work with children. You should work with a pool of people who create more schools, more programs for children than you can do yourself. So you should remain with the Institute in Legon. So that was the prof, and I used to come to Ghana from time to time, to work with him. And also during my Rockefeller and 4 days, so I was always in touch, with the professionals, both at Legon as well as in the private sector, with the publishers, Afripom, I forgot some of the big publishers to help organize and work with the National Theatre and Coco. Her late husband was a good friend of mine, and Dr. Marco and all that.
Yeah.
So I really have fond memories of Ghana. And last time I saw Coco was just during the AFIMA event, so we're able to reconnect. And then she disappeared again. I wanted to come back when Professor Kwabena Nketia passed away, but because of my late visit during AFIMA, I went to see him. He told me that, for me, I'm done with you. So if you hear something has happened to me, please do not come. So it was more to respect his own request, because you've done more than many of my students who came here to see me, to spend time with me. So you've done your part, because when that will happen, and with my notoriety in Ghana, you may not even maybe get a chance to pay tribute as you want to. So you should stay home and just reflect on the things that we talked about and what needs to be done. So that's why I haven't been able to come to Accra when he passed. But thanks again to Victor inviting me to this great organization. South Corporation is something that we've devoted most of our lives, working on. Even during my philanthropy days, it was more to work on a global level, and it was not just to deal with one continent. Although with Rockefeller, I did focus more on Africa, but with Ford, was more actually dealing with Africa, Latin America, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, and so forth. So which actually, when I saw even some of the people on the board, I was so excited, to see that actually was just the world, the kind of environment, I used to work and live in. Same thing with Aspen, or just a great convening space, to bring people from different backgrounds to discuss critical issues of the day. That's why it was maybe easier to launch a program on cultural diplomacy from Aspen than from elsewhere else. Even UNESCO was not even happy with the term cultural diplomacy, because this was more a distraction. It was more political. although the organization itself basically is political, but they didn't want even to recognize the term. But now I'm pleased. I'm very flattered not to see that UNESCO as a goodwill ambassador, just focusing on the culture of peace and cultural diplomacy. So I was very excited.
Yeah.
Also to know that's a friend of Victor, so which is great, fantastic. And looking at what's going on from what we're saying. First of all, I should start to congratulate you too for launching such a great initiative for Pan-African Well Museum. Again, looking Africa broadly defined, not just at the continent, but actually people of Africa descent, whatever they are.
Absolutely.
And this is very important, especially now during this International Decade of People of African Descent. I think this should be one of the symbols of that, to make sure that it's not just theoretical, or rhetorical in speeches and whatever, but actually things happening. In Ghana, it's in the forefront of this, even with the program that we have of returnees and all that. So serving as a model for the rest of the continent and actually the countries not to emulate. So congratulations for taking that leadership. And when I came back to Kinshasa after Aspen, actually I came here, I was challenged by a former Minister of Foreign Affairs who used to be a friend. We went to the same school at the University of Pittsburgh. And then we went separate ways. And after so many years, he told me, Damien, I keep hearing about you doing this and that. Why can't you come and do this? Help us at home. Okay, I'll see what I can do. And I tried to negotiate with Aspen to come back to lend a hand for. First of all, actually, I told him that before I come to Kinshasa, you should come and attend my event. So you know how I work and what kind of work we're doing. Then there will be no misunderstanding. So he came to one of the cultural diplomacy forum. He was so impressed. He said, "You should come." And I said, "Okay, you should help me to convince my bosses here at Aspen that they can give me a sabbatical so I can come and spend some time with you." So which he did, and they agreed. So I came just to spend 2 years in Kinshasa in 2012, but I'm still here. So I never went back because they won't let me go back. And so that's
it's Kinshasa's game.
Tell them, they told Damien, you've been helping the rest of the world, you better help your own country now. I think that's
it.
Exactly.
Charity begins at home.
Yeah. So I said, okay, and I saw the kind of energy from young people. And I said, okay, I'll do some teaching and help the government in whichever way that I can, and so forth. And which was good. But then I realized that most of the infrastructures, that's what pretty much non-existent, in art and culture. Is that a city of like 14 million people, you don't have the performing art venues like you have, with National Theatre. No, it doesn't exist. Whatever was there, so was just destroyed, and they built some high rises in apartment building because somebody wanted to make money. So you know how it goes. So I thought, why not try to explore ways of actually trying to create some facilities for these creative people, because the creativity is there. You can see what they're doing, and talking about music, but yet people have to perform in stadiums, and even some of the best artists from the continent or elsewhere, you can bring them to Kinshasa, because where are you going to make them perform? So there's no venue for that. So I thought maybe I can use my expertise to design a solid proposals so that we can sell, pass around different donors, whatever. And the good thing working with government is that, and the government may not have money itself, but there's so many opportunities to raise money from elsewhere through international cooperation.
Sure.
So being the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation was pretty much a blessing, because we knew many countries, we told that we cannot tell you what to do for you, but for the country to tell us what kind of help you need and how we can assist you. And at the same time, there's this, about the China-Africa partnership. So every 2 years, China and the African countries get together to discuss different areas of cooperation and what China can do. And they've been putting quite a chunk of money on the table, like 60 billion, 2015, and then 2018. This year they're going to meet again in Senegal. So I don't know how much they're going to put on the table. So when they put the 60 billion there on the table, almost half of it is for soft loan, with the low interest rate for big infrastructure projects. But at the same time, there's quite a good amount, like $10 billion for grant money. Yet most African countries are not interested in grants. So, and understood that the reason why they don't interest in grants, because some of those grants, China won't give the money. China will just come and build and whatever you want to do, the money themselves. So it's not attractive.
Seen it here.
So it's not attractive. Some of those may be interested in trying to chip some part of it. So therefore they just drop it. And China's been smart, and they're going to use the 10 billion to design their own programs that they can propose to Africa. And one of those programs, for instance, is the scholarship program. Because the scholarship program for China did not come at the request of African countries, but they use it as a way of spending that money, because otherwise, it's a lot of money, $10 billion. So for giving so many scholarships to African students, it's a way for them to keep that cash. And I think, as far as I know, it's the only country that's like giving so many scholarships to African students. Stop now with because of COVID, but before that, like here in Kinshasa, maybe 100 and 200 students are going to go a year, and there's so many of them that's going to study there, and they do it all over the continent. And two, they also they used to design seminars for African civil servants in China. And that money was just taken out of that pool of money because of nobody's interested in grant. Because of write long proposals and all that, people are not interested in that. But it'd be easier just to write the title of the project. We're going to build this road, and we're going to cost so many billions, and we want to borrow, and then start negotiating. That's more attractive to some of our countries, which is a shame. So it's within that context that I was able to design. I attended one of those meetings in Johannesburg with the minister, and China said, well, we're interested in, among the 10 priorities, one was culture and infrastructure and this. And I told the minister, I said, I passed a note, the minister passed it to the president. He said, the DRC, we're interested in doing this. And then the meeting was organized the next day. And the minister looked at me and said, well, this is what you looked for, so you better come up with that proposal quickly. So I wrote the proposal. Although at the time they were submitting the list of DRC requests to China, they just did what they normally do. They just put the title of the project and the amount of money. So, but I knew as soon as that note verbal went to the embassy, I went to the embassy myself with a full proposal. I said, by the way, item number 7 on that list, this is the proposal for it. They said, oh yeah, the other one, we just see just the name of the title and the amount, but there's no documentation, there's no proposal, but this one is a proposal, very good. So they took it. So finally, we end up getting the $100 million
Wow.
to build that facility, which will include 2 performing arts venues, one for 2,000 seats, the other one for 800. Then the entire school of art for music, drama, and cultural management. Pretty much like all Legon, just a campus like that being built there.
Yes.
And a guest house of 50 people. And a big space outside, outdoor, for that can accommodate up to 30,000 people for outdoor performances. So kind of a state-of-the-art facility that they're building. 85 million for the construction work, and around 15 million for all the technical staff, equipment, and instruments, and so forth. So that's the project that I'm working on. And
Wow. Maybe you and
all-
I can do one for South-South Cooperation Council.
yeah, why not? It's part of it's for the continent.
Okay.
And actually the way I frame it, that's why we call it International Center for Cooperation and Cultural Action. So
Okay.
culture broadly defined, and the cooperation that's between all of us.
Okay.
And also to avoid the idea of some government or some national
correct.
group to use it as a base.
Correct.
Because when you do that, you kill it.
Yeah.
For instance, the National Theatre said that we want to make it our base. I said, but this is an international center. If we make the
Yeah.
base for the Congolese National Theatre, what about the Gabonese National Theatre? What
Yeah.
about the Rwandese National Theatre? So we can do that.
Yeah.
It should be a space that everybody can use based on the content. And
Right.
this is to understand
Do you have, Damien, sorry to interject, do you have some sort of summary, hopefully in English, that we could see of the project?
Yes, I'll send a summary and some pictures or even a video actually that will be useful.
Vladi, I think that would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be very,
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah. And this would be great.
we can sort of think along the
when we get in the museum, should be part of, there should be synergy between all these mega institutions on the continent, so that can be actually mobility of professionals and the programs, and I think that be something that that we need to work on. So
Okay.
for there's a lot of private sector is very difficult because it comes with so many strings attached, but through government to serve as a facilitator can be one way, and then do the follow-up with the embassy. It's one of the best strategies actually to mobilize some of the resources, you know, to do this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Victor was saying, also we're not looking at Africa even for for the museum that you're building, which is Pan-African, and then those people of African descent, they're all over the continent. So
Sure.
they're not just like people used to believe that it's Africa and the Americas, but it's more than
So we're
that.
talking
So,
diaspora, you know, a field all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, exactly. So to see diverse people on the board from those continents, also to see actually how they connect with Africa and how Africa connect with those continents to make South-South cooperation more vibrant and dynamic and profitable to all, especially for generation to come. I think
Sure.
like the founding fathers did what they did, although something got messed up in the middle. But if we can do the same to create new bases for generations to come, I think we would have done our part. That's how I say it, Ladi and Victor.
Oh, thank you.
Coco, of course, I don't know what she's doing now. She doesn't tell me much, but I like to hear what she's been up to. But I'm happy to collaborate and to move the agenda forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Coco, do you want to say something before Victor?
Yeah, quite short. I'm really excited to be on this as well, the South-South project, because interculturalism and cultural diversity has been something that I've been working on forever. That in my stay in Canada, we had a festival of Latin American, Caribbean, and African music, showing our similarities and differences. And that brought this kind of music actually into the Canadian space. Again, we were able to convince the Canada Council of the Arts to include the artists of who they call minorities in their program, so that they will get the same kind of grants to be able to create like everybody else. In Ghana, Damien knows very well, I was at the National Theatre and making it a home for people of all races and all cultures to be there.
And kids too, I remember Kidda Fest.
Kida Fest, various programs for children.
Sorry, so what is it about the Canadian festival? Can you, sorry, I did not understand.
Well, when I first went there, now we're talking about the 80s, the music that they then coined world music was not really that's known on there. So it was to create a festival of this music and to also have it in the halls that are professional, so that this music will be seen by people as professional music, So we brought together artists from the Americas, from Caribbean, from Africa, the big guys, and we got grants from everywhere to project them in a festival called World Rhythms. So that was before the name of the music was coined world music. You see, that is...
I'm particularly interested in what you say, Korkor, because as I mentioned to Damien and to Ladi, and now I'm telling you, I'm at the moment at the initial process of negotiations with the Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs with a view to organizing a major festival of Latin American and Caribbean, African and Asian music, hopefully at the end of 22 or 23. So I have just submitted my proposal, the request, I should say, 2 days ago. Yesterday was the National Day. So our member of the board is seeing the CEO of the Theatre and Performing Arts Commission on Sunday. So I should hopefully get some clarity. But I think it would be great if we could see under Ladi's leadership, what can we basically start to take off to so to speak, for the African office to take off. Of course, it can also liaise with Latin America and Asia and so on, particularly now in Manila, where Ladi is going and Kojo is going as well. What do you think, Ladi and Damien? What in addition to a couple of projects that you proposed about the tickle cell and the this fruit, where you can display leadership of Ghana and passing it on to the other countries. We need to somehow turn it into a project, into a program, leading possibly to a forum in Ghana, which will discuss that and in conjunction with colleagues from other countries in Southern Hemisphere, particularly from Latin America and Asia.
Sure.
I wonder if I can come in just quickly before Ladi, before you come in, because I was a member of the Arterial Network that brought together artists from all over Africa. And when you ask about what we can do in Africa, apart from, of course, cultural diplomacy, which Damien is really a heavyweight in that, I realized at that time that there are so many different cultural aspects in all the various regions that we don't know about. So we don't know, we don't know about each other at all when it comes to the culture. So when cultural goods and services are moving around, it doesn't really move around in Africa. The French African countries, it moves to France. We move to England or South Africa, so we don't have the market. So I'm thinking that one of the things, and I hope Ladi, you and Damien, that apart from cultural diplomacy, which are part of the cultural diplomacy, we will look at how we use the expertise of the various artists, their goods and services, to inform each other, to educate each other, to make our art more viable and more accessible to Africa, basically.
I think somebody made the point, I think it was the ambassador of Colombia who made the very good point that if you've got cultural diplomacy, artists and creatives, that actually even feeds the economics, because if you can have a good understanding of the culture, then the economics will follow, and it makes sense because with the economics things, then you're talking about all kinds of things without having the cultural background. But if we learn the cultural background, I hope it's what we're going to do with all of what you're talking about, then economics follows in a very, very logical and very easily understandable manner. And I'm all for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fully agree with that. And And the other thing, actually, as the late Professor Kitete said, about actually the importance of art and culture in education. Because
Yeah.
just mentioned the idea of the market being small, but actually we have huge. We introduce arts and culture content in all school curricula, from kindergarten to primary school, elementary school, high school, and university.
Yes.
What a market would that be? Be it
Yes.
for publishers, be it for teachers, and then the creating of the audience for artistic productions.
Great
So
idea.
it's a huge market. So that's
Yes.
something that actually we can also look into as a line of work, to make sure
Yeah.
how can we develop.
Yeah.
Can I add to that? The useful thing is that when I was in Uzbekistan 10 days ago, I made a very good contact and friendship with the Assistant Director General of UNESCO for Social and Human Sciences. She's from Mexico. And I think, and I also know very well her chef de cabinet. So I think that we could involve UNESCO into something like that and get their support right at the beginning. In fact,
Yes.
I do have a video conference with all goodwill ambassadors of UNESCO. I'm not one of them, but I will support Cecile Alvarez from Philippines. So if we can come up with a proposal, I could get Cecile and Hedva to introduce it. So if Damien could help you, Ladi, and indeed Korkor, to come up with something, at least a framework, then we can fine tune it.
Yeah.
It would be absolutely great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, sorry, I beg your pardon.
Go ahead.
No. All I wanted to say that Damien is completely correct that culture and art are becoming more and more important. I hope I'm not misquoting the figure, but Saudi Arabia is putting something like $100 billion to fight Al-Qaeda in Sahel countries. And to that extent, one of the reasons for the interest in doing the festival was that art and culture can help in spreading understanding, friendship, and racial and religious tolerance.
Yes, yes. Coco might talk about, and this is the arts. There's something, a program that was started in Jamestown. Jamestown is where we come from in Accra. It's called Chaliwote. It started, Coco, was it 5, 6, 7 years ago? Not very long.
Yeah.
But something that is all of a sudden generating hundreds of thousands of people, and people are actually coming from abroad. It's now become a world event. And when you look at the way it allows the youth to display creativity that people didn't think exists, because they come for music, but then the kids paint pictures all over on the streets, on the walls and everything. And it's a real cultural learning process. And it's become such a big world event that it's amazing. And it's something that I know Coco was very close to. And things like that, I think, would, if we got ourselves behind, it would actually help us a great deal, whether it's in a crowd or wherever, I know Coco has some network in that regard in the sub-region. So it's something that we could think about,
Yes.
even lending our weight.
Yes. As a matter of fact, following what Damien was talking about, arts in education, once we start that, this whole thing that you are talking about, Chaliwote, you see...
Chaliwote being the festival.
Yeah, being the festival. You see people, let's say from the US will come, from the UK will come, but you don't really see, apart from South Africa, you don't see much African artists. I think that the work on arts education sure happens in other places in Africa as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And to that end, might I suggest rather than immediately thinking of an ambitious forum, which will also cost money and so on. Ladi, I don't know what you think, but it might be useful to take advantage of the fact that Claudia is the Dean of Diplomatic Corps, and she could easily convene all African ambassadors in Accra.
Yes.
Now, you know better, but I think you have quite a lot of them. I don't know that there are, there are 30 or 40 or maybe.
Yes, we've talked about that. Yes, I will talk to her about it, of course.
And that you would have a captive audience. You would then have Zanetor, you would have Johanna, you have, of course, you, and Damien, in the worst case, can appear on Zoom. And therefore, and then I would also involve my people from South Africa, or our people, like Ella Gandhi, and some leading members from Kenya, to give it so that you can see that our own team on SSCC is extremely strong and present in all parts of Africa. But by the way, I talked to Damien. I have to confess to you, I have mainly worked, even in my previous decades, with sub-Saharan Africa. But if you talk about Africa and Pan-African Museum and so on, we cannot really exclude North Africa. So at some point, Ladi, and maybe even Damien has got some ideas, or Korkor, we ought to be able to integrate somebody. I think that from the relatively stable countries, Egypt and Morocco spring to mind.
I think we ought to.
So when you can basically, and as I will repeat again, we will send a tape, Ladi, to you of this meeting, because there are so many things that were mentioned that are important. So when you then draw the plan of what we should do, if you want, you might like to know, Claudia is actually spending now 2 weeks in my apartment in Colombia. So I talk to her almost every day, and I can mention to that. But I'm 99% sure that she would greatly welcome that idea, because art and culture are so important to her. So if you can, but we should only do that when we have something meaningful to say and meaningful to propose. Not otherwise, you know, I don't want an empty show, and I'm sure you don't want it either. For Damien.
We never present an empty show.
We'll get together after this, myself, Coco, Damien, when she comes around, Johanna, and then we'll talk. We'll list a program in order of priority or whatever, so that we can then take the meaty ones, make sure that, yes, we can present something that is the main thing, one or two others.
Let us try to do it before Christmas, you know, leaving, say, 2 months towards the end of November. That would give us 2 full months. Of course, it's easy for me to say that. You would have to do most of the work. So if you consider that to be feasible, and that within a month we can do something, then Claudia can convene the meeting. And by the way, whilst it will be a meeting for African ambassadors, there is absolutely no reason why one shouldn't invite Chinese and some other donor countries as observers. That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I agree. And even, you know, even the Nordic countries, they do have histories in the castles and forts. I mean, the Mina, the biggest fort, the Mina, Fort 1482, that was the first one on the coast of Africa. Then the Dutch also came, and then the Swedes and the Danes in Jamestown, Ascheford, and Christiansborg. So they have history in those castles as well. And when you talk about the period of slavery or whatever, they have an interest. And so, I mean, yes, one would put
it's just that I use politically incorrect term. They are no longer called donors, they are external partners. That's
okay, right. New paradigm.
Yeah. Because we give to them as much as they give to us.
Absolutely.
And I have been in forum laugh with and saying, well,
by the way, Ladi, please do not forget to send to Damien that absolutely cartoonish interview with the Secretary for Culture of UK, but it's an unbelievably intelligent journalist. Damien, you have to see that and send to everybody and their mother in your community to see how idiotic the British minister looked when he was interviewed. How about returning stolen cultural property from Africa?
What did he have to say? What did he say?
Well, you need to see that. It lasts about 4 minutes, and he was intellectually humiliated by the British Afro-descendant journalist. I don't know. He spoke immaculate English, but he was black. And I enjoyed every second of it. So, please.
Laddie, could I say something, please? Laddie, could I say something, please? You mentioned the forts and castles. And I think that is another interesting thing in that there are these kind of things dotted along the coast of Africa as well. And there are also old cities in many of these places like China and stuff that has been converted into artist habitations or artist studios and stuff like that. And I think once we come together, we can meet around how other people are using their forts and castles or rehabilitating their forts and castles or using that as museums and stuff like that and learn from each other. I think that's a
point. I saw some of these in Jamestown, where one beautiful building, Laddie, you will know which one it is, has got masses of studios where young or painters generally exhibit and sell their works. I was extremely impressed.
Yeah, I think it's in Asher Fort, but we're doing something in James Fort as well. We're about to start. But Coco is absolutely, I mean, there are things that we could do, and the British, all of them, they all have history in there. And so once you start talking about it, you immediately excite their interest. And once you have a good, I believe that it's possible to get this done. Yes. So I think what we'll do is maybe afterwards, Coco, Damien, if you will please, myself, and Johanna, I think at some point in time, we've got to have another Zoom meeting with Johanna present. And even, don't forget to send, Victor, don't forget to send to Damien Zaneta's video.
I will absolutely do that. And meanwhile, in 2 seconds ago, I sent to all of you, of course, you don't need it, Laddie, the British Culture Minister's interview. Damien, it is absolutely compulsory viewing. And I will look
so Victor, if I understand carefully, for the work that we need to do for the coming near future. But on the other side, also there's the global agenda. That means South-South.
Yes, of course.
Cooperation. And for that, I don't know how far you are in the thinking about this, because one is I've observed many groups, like regional groups like European Union and whatever, creating all kind of funds for creators for this. But unfortunately, the idea that maybe they may have the best intention possible to try to help to do something. But for somehow, for whatever reason, I don't know, lack of expertise or internal politics or individual politics, when you look at it, it won't lead us to anywhere. When I say the term reference, the call for papers and whatever, it's just, like for you as a businessman, if you look at this, you just gotta just toss it aside.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
I agree.
So it's more like political patronage of some sort, which really is kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know, with Victor's all the right connections and the high level and all of you and all of business, it's a way to think of maybe later on trying to develop a mechanism for a South-South cooperation fund. It's a strategy actually, so that although we can continue to do our work online and all this, but we can actually fund specific life-changing, initiatives. From our own.
Totally agree with Damien.
Totally.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
By the way, I propose when you have now, Ladi, from this teleconference to distill proposal for action, then when we have the next meeting, I would propose to invite Hedva Ser, the Goodwill Ambassador for Culture Diplomacy of UNESCO, because she lives in Paris. She meets almost every day ambassadors from all the countries and who have quite a lot of pull. And it will be very important to be able to get whatever we do in Africa immediately known to UNESCO. Because Damien, you know, I'm sure very well that one of the Assistant Director Generals is specifically dealing with Africa, which is priority of UNESCO. And his name is Firmin Matoko from Congo Brazzaville.
Yeah. I'm sure Damien probably knows him as well. Okay, that's very good. Very good.
Okay.
Victor, do you want to say something else?
No, I think I'm jolly glad we are recording this because so much was said and it will be difficult to remember afterwards. So, Ladi, shall I only send it to you because you will be charged with the tedious job of producing minutes?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
You will get it very late Colombian time. So by the time you wake up tomorrow, you will get the tape.
I think before we should not forget the importance of research on our continent about things that the needs of people, like a needs assessment, in order for us to actually build a real program across Africa, if that's what we also want to do, and how they relate, of course, to the global South, right? Sure.
I think so too. Anyway, I'll receive it, then I'll go through and try and get down the salient points, and then discuss with you and Damien, and then see what we can put concretely together, and then have this meeting with Claudia and the ambassadors. But before that, as Victor said, probably bring in Hedva Ser and whoever to help us about making sure that
I think I would like to see emerging out of this some sort of action plan for SSCC Africa.
Sure. That's what I meant. That will distill it and then some kind of an action plan where we go from here. Absolutely.
Damien, I'm very glad that we managed to conquer the logistic challenges with you connecting with us. Corcora minutes earlier. I appeared 10 minutes early to make sure everything is okay. Ladi,
but I'm only sorry I can't see Damien because I think he's one of the most handsome men on earth. And I wish I could have
Oh, by the way, and within a few days' time, I will share with all of you the trailer of the docufiction which we made in Ghana so that you can get a good idea.
All right, then. Okay.
Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So,
bye-bye.
So you will hear from me, Coco, and Damien.
Right.
The summary of, okay. All right. Okay. Then we'll work out a program of action.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Damien.
Yeah.
Damien, what is best for you? Is it a Google Meet? Is that what's best for you, or Zoom?
Either way, either Google or Zoom, that's fine. So,
okay. All right.
Okay. No problem. Today, just because I don't know, there was something wrong with the internet connection, so there's some kind of
it happens. It happens. Okay. Very good. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.